Hey there, welcome back.
Hi.
So another jam-packed episode for you today. What we're going to be covering in this episode, you're going to share a tip. Well, It's kind of a tip with 5 parts around how to increase cash flow in any business. So a really cool tip, doesn't matter what style or size of business you have. These are 5 areas we look at in any organization to increase cash flow, basically increase profit. So a really cool tip that you're going to be sharing there. Then we have a customer question. So it's around how to gain more credibility, which is really cool. So I'll run through a bunch of tips on how you can gain credibility quicker with basically any style of business once again. We've got a team share. We're going to cut to Julia, and Julia's going to show us some things to include on a website, which will help us gain credibility. So ingredients to include on a website, which relate to that customer question around how do I gain more credibility. And we've got a recommendation from yourself, book recommendation that you think is awesome. Very good. And then we've got a word of wisdom from myself. So a really cool jam-packed episode with a lot of golden nuggets. Enjoy the show. So now we're going to hear a tip from Francisca. She's going to share something that, well, part of this could apply to any business. So listen up.
Yeah, and it's the reason why we are sharing this tip today is because a lot of questions that we do get other than marketing is cash flow. So how can you increase cash flow? Because cash flow is one of the biggest challenges that small business owners have. So we want to give you now 5 tips and 5 questions with each tip. So the first one, how can you increase your cash flow, is to attract more customers. So the question to ask yourself is how can you attract more customers through marketing? So the action that I'd like you to take here is to look at your marketing for the next 30 days or so and look at what's working and what's not working, and only focus, of course, and ramp up what's working. Now, the second one is increase the frequency of purchase per customer. And the question to ask yourself is how can you get your customers to come back more often or refer other people to you? Mm-hmm. So think about, the action is to think about how can you motivate your customers to come back more often or refer you? There's
a famous shampoo, I can't remember which brand it was, but they said wash your hair, like directions, wash the hair, then rinse it out and repeat. And they sold much more products because people started washing their hair twice, so they used the product. But it could be that, it could be mechanics putting next service due. You get the idea.
Yeah, exactly. And the third one is to increase the average spend per customer. So every time they come to you, how can they spend more on a purchase? So the question is how can you increase the average spend per customers? And here the action and the thinking that I'd like you to do is to look at all your products and services and see if you can bundle some of them to increase your packages, to have a higher amount per package, so that also people get more value potentially by having a package, not just a one-off thing.
Upsell, downsell, round sell, cross sell.
Yeah, exactly. Round sell, left sell, right sell. And number 4 is increase your prices potentially. And the question is, can you add more value and hence increase your prices? And a lot of small businesses probably are undercharging a little bit. Of course, the value has to stack up. So again, look at your offering and write down ideas at your products and services. Write down ideas in regards to how can you add more value in order to also charge more. There has to be a fair value exchange, of course. And then number 5 is decrease your operating expenses. And here you just basically ask yourself is where can you reduce your spending? And the action that we like you to take is for the next 30 days, keep a really close look at everything that is going out. Basically all the invoices that you're paying, sign off on every single one of them. You might have team members or bookkeepers looking after all of your money coming in and out. Just for the 30 days, just sign off on everything. Because there might be stuff that you find that you don't need it, or you're getting overcharged, or there might be ways that you can get a better option. So just keep an eye on that and look at reducing your expenses.
Just question it within yourself. Is there a better way I could do this, or could we find a better provider of this? And it's a good way to do it. 30 days of reducing costs, smart way to do it.
So next up we have an audience question from you. So do you want to share that?
Yes, let's do it. So the question is, how can I gain more credibility? This one's a common question that comes from a lot of service providers and consultants and things too. When you sell a service, how do you get more credibility? 2 ways, which I'll share for now. Most marketing out there says, I'm fantastic, buy from me. So let's look to include social proof in your marketing. Social proof can come in many different forms, like it could be testimonials, could be reviews, it could be business awards, putting that stamp in your marketing. You might have an association membership or an accreditation or something you put in your marketing. Even it could be a small scale. If someone says something nice about you on social media, screenshot it, file it. You could use that comment in marketing down the track. So basically anywhere anyone else says you're fantastic. Social proof is everything. It's like when there are people in a restaurant, we tend to choose the restaurants that have people in them. Tip jars in a restaurant, if they half fill it with money before they open on the day, we're more likely to put money into the tip jar when we see there's already money. Or buskers, put money in the hat or the guitar case. This is all social proof. Us humans, we're a little bit, like sheep to some extent. Well, we just see that if others have already gained trust with something or done something, we're more likely to know, okay, it's not the wrong thing if I go and do it. So include social proof in everything you do. The other thing I was going to mention too of the 3 ways is, third way is sometimes certain industries out there, you can demonstrate credibility yourself, write articles, create video tips, show that you know your stuff, maybe create a podcast, could be writing a book. There are lots of ways. It might be a trial or a taste test or a sample or something like that you offer. So they're the 3 different ways. So in terms of social proof, let's have a quick look now with one of our team to look specifically at some social proof, like on a website as an example, or so different ways to do that on a website. So we'll cut across to Julia now and she'll show us some social proof on a website. Let's go.
Hi guys, I've got a really quick tip to share with all of you when it comes to your websites. Always make sure that you use social proof. What do I mean by social proof? So if you have any testimonials or case studies, basically anything that other people, past clients or customers would have said about your products or services, obviously after asking permission to use their feedback on your website, please put it onto your website. Like use it on your homepage or on relevant inner pages, because it's just a great marketing strategy and tool really to to help sell your services or products, because people trust other people. So people trust in what other people already have experienced with your own business. Makes sense, right? Because it doesn't really come from you, it comes from other like-minded customers who already were willing to purchase.
There we go. So awesome to hear from Julia on the team. And now we're going to cut to you, young lady, Francisca, with a recommendation.
So today I have Scaling Up, which is an excellent book by Vern Harnish. Now, Vern Harnish is an incredible entrepreneur. He runs a company called Gazelles. He's also the founder of an organization called Entrepreneurs Organization, and I actually just had him present at a summit that we were hosting. And this book here, Scaling Up, I would highly recommend this one because it gives you specific frameworks and tools to help you with people, strategy, execution, and cash. So the book covers these 4 components, and in each of these components you get specific frameworks and then practical examples on how to use the frameworks to look after each of these 4 components. And the book is great, and it's won a million awards. I don't even remember which ones anymore, but it definitely won a lot of awards, and it's definitely a book that I would highly recommend. And he has a few other books that are also very good. So that's it. That's my recommendation for today.
Nice. Now we've got a word of wisdom.
Yeah, do you have a word of wisdom?
I'm going to share a word of wisdom. It's not my own wisdom. I could try and claim it as my own, but it's a bit late now, isn't it? Now I've let the cat out of the bag.
Unless you have something comes up.
No. There's this quote, William Faulkner, who's a Faulkner, probably pronounced it wrong. Faulkner, he a famous writer, author, and basically this is good for people who, we all have to use our brains from time to time, use creativity and so on, and challenge our own procrastination and all these things. But basically someone asked Mr. Faulkner if he writes by inspiration or by habit. So as for his writing, is it by inspiration or is it by habit? And he said he wrote by inspiration, but luckily inspiration arrived at 9 a.m. every morning. So he writes by inspiration. Now, you can take what you like from this, because it's definitely habit if he's doing it at 9 a.m. every day, but is creating space for the inspiration to strike is the way I like to look at it. So, for example, if you create space and you create time where you don't just clutter yourself with everything you're doing off your to-do list, and you really allow that time to be creative, it's almost like creating a habit for allowing inspiration to strike. For example, whereas if we're just busy waiting for inspiration to strike all the time, it's never going to hit, because we're always busy and we get to the end of the day and we're exhausted, and the last thing we feel is inspired to create, to fix things in business. This could apply to not only writing, but those kind of big rock ideas that you need to do in business, the big chunks, the big challenges, the big things you need to implement, allowing the space to work those out, because we need to be creative and, you know, let our inspiration strike. So that we get stuff done. So pretty cool.
You know, how I use this too, especially in writing, just the last book that I wrote, I felt sometimes like I would get up really early. My writing hours were always between 6 and 8 in the morning, and then I would get up and sit at my computer. I'm like, I don't feel it. Like, I'm really not feeling it. I don't feel like I have ideas. And then I just forced myself, and then maybe that first 45 minutes were just doodling and not getting anything down. That was really smart. But then suddenly it came. And then some days it would start at 6, so it is just almost forcing inspiration to come when you just start doing that task, whichever the task is.
Awesome, very good. Cool. So there we go. That's the word of wisdom for today, and that is a wrap. If you've enjoyed the episode, please do feel free to share this with the world and beyond. The universe, and if you've got any questions for us, feel free to send through on any of our contact details at basicbananas.com or any of our social media platforms. And if you do have a question that you'd like to have answered in a future episode, just fire those off through social media or via email or our contact form, and we'll look after you there.
Yeah, see you next time.